You guys have been asking us, you big-time, hardcore, most loyal Bert Show listeners, where's the bonus content? I'll pay for it. Okay, if you'll pay for it, we did it. All right. It's up now. Now you can check it out. We do it every single week. This week, someone in Romeo's family is cheating. This is stuff that we don't even talk about right here during the Bert Show. And the age that you have the most fun, and I confessed about doing the dumbest party trick. The dumbest party trick of my entire life for years. That's all part of our bonus content. That's at thebertshow.com/bonusbs.
What's trending now?
Go!
Kristen knows. It's the Bert Show's entertainment buzz.
Netflix has suspended 3 employees, including a staffer who is transgender, for publicly speaking out against Dave Chappelle's controversial comedy special, The Closer. Now, the special has come under sharp criticism from groups such as GLAAD and the National Black Justice Coalition over jokes those organizations and others have said were hurtful and cruel to or dismissive of the LGBT community. I know we played this for you last week, I do believe, and this is Dave Chappelle in his special talking about DaBaby.
A lot of the LGBTQ community doesn't know DaBaby's history. He's a wild guy. He once shot a and killed him in Walmart. Oh, this is true. Google it. DaBaby shot and killed a in Walmart in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to his career. Do you see where I'm going with this? In our country, you can shoot and kill a but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings.
Now, the 3 employees who were suspended, it wasn't for speaking out. One of them is Tara Field, and Tara Field is the staffer who is transgender. And it was because they tried to join a quarterly meeting meant only for directors or vice presidents. And so Netflix is saying it's not because of what they said. It was because they tried to disrupt the meeting.
That's BS.
And Netflix co-CEO defended Dave in a memo and said, several of you have also asked where we draw the line on hate. We don't allow titles on Netflix that are designed to incite hate or violence, and we don't believe the Closer crosses that line. Another one of the lines that people found to be offensive. I haven't watched the special, so I don't know in here who has. So if you have and you could weigh in, that'd be great.
Mo and I have watched it, and Mo will weigh in. I'm just going to be quiet.
Why? Because he's being a dork.
Because I don't want to take the heat.
Gender is a fact. Every human being in this room, every human being on Earth had to pass through the legs of a woman to be on Earth. That is a fact. And so Dave Chappelle recently was doing a screening of his untitled Dave Chappelle documentary. This is something different. And it was star-studded, and he basically was like, if this is what cancels is like, I love it. And he's just basically not backing down from anything he said or did in his special.
I have been nervous about talking about this, and I almost do want to recuse myself from the conversation, because here's the deal. I think Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. For me, he is the greatest stand-up of all time, and I find him truly funny. And I have watched his specials, and I have seen him make fun of everybody. But this is not my community, right? So when I watched it, I got to be honest with you, I laughed. It wasn't hurtful to me. And it didn't seem hateful either. And it didn't seem like he was inciting violence. This is just what Dave does, sort of. Is it dangerous for a community? This is not my community, so I don't know. I don't know the inner workings. I don't know how that made them feel. But I know in watching it from the outside, it didn't feel mean-spirited. Dave makes fun of everything.
That was my main takeaway as well, is that Dave doesn't necessarily pick on one community and stay there. He picks on everyone. And I can't speak for the communities that I'm not a part of on how they should feel. If they feel the way they feel, then that's how they feel. At the same time, I do think a lot of times they'll take clips from his specials and then people will be offended by those clips. But if you watch his work in its total, like, there are underlying meanings to everything he's saying. And I don't think he's being hateful about what he's doing. He's just finding ways to deliver messages in the ways that he does. And I think the special was brilliant.
He's educated, and he's also empathetic at times during this special. And anytime he has talked about this topic, maybe not the first time because he wasn't educated on it at that point, but since then, I feel like he's really gone to school on it. But again, I'm not part of the community, so it's hard for me to say what's right, what's not, who should be hurt, who shouldn't.
And he did say that, he did say that he would, like, that's what this was going to be. Like, he wanted people to really think about all of the things he was saying. So he knew the controversy was coming. He knew that they were going to try to cancel him on Twitter. He says all those things. So in a way, they're kind of proving his point by doing it.
He's playing into the cancel culture and getting more money by doing it. This is all nonsense. He's like, oh, if this is what being canceled is. Somebody said you offended me, and he went and did 4 comedy specials based on cancel culture because his feelings got so hurt. And now he's making fun of marginalized communities that he's not a part of because that's who he feels like he can make fun of. That's the underdog that he can kick right now. And I think it's
Did you watch? First of all, did you watch?
Yes.
It? Okay.
And people would, at the end, for him to go through and make fun of trans folks, and then to say, "But I had a trans friend." If you did that with any other race or anything, everybody would be like, "Okay," and would realize how like transparent that sounds and how bad that sounds. You don't make fun of people because you had one friend.
Is that
so
a
I thought
joke,
that was
though?
a joke. No, it was his way of saying like I knew someone that died that was trans and in the comedy business. But I was like, but you just made fun of trans people for a little bit. And then you're like, but I have a friend, so that makes it okay. The only person that got canceled here is the trans employee that Netflix fired because they spoke out about being offended by Dave Chappelle. He's not canceled at all.
So here's Mike saying he's very frustrated with Dave Chappelle and my and Mo's take on it. What do you got, Mike?
Yeah, I absolutely am so glad that Dobby was saying what she was, because I think any other group people would freak out about a lot more. It's still okay to make fun of LGBTQ plus people, especially trans people. And so even y'all's take on it, I think, we have to stop and take a look. And, if that were us, how would we feel? And again, I know you guys are saying you don't know, but I just super appreciate Dobby and what she was saying, because I think that's exactly the point.
Thank you for calling, Mike. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
And just to clarify, they're suspended right now. I don't know if they're
Okay.
going to get fired or not. But if you want to see Tara Field's Twitter thread that went viral, Tara goes through and says everybody who's not offended because they are trans and they are no longer with us. So we will post that up online at thebertshow.com. Clicky buzz.
The Bert Show.